Alright, YouTube. So, I just want to start the video by saying this. Tyla is colored. I honestly have no problem with her identifying as colored. People come across my videos and they just assume that I'm siding with the fact that she's black. I'm completely ignoring her colored identity, whatever, whatever. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to defend Black America, or Americans in general. So this is the thing that South Africans keep failing to recognize. Tyla is here in America. She deals with an American audience. She's dating an American man. She's around Americans. And when you leave your country, the culture in another country is always going to be very different from the culture back home. So if you leave South Africa and you come to the United States, that word colored, especially how they spell it, does not exist here in America. And I'm going to tell you, why should we in America, in our native country, culture, society, change our mindset for someone who flew across the planet to our country? Why should we change it? Why should we rewrite the rules for some foreigner? It's no different from if an American were to travel to South Africa. A South African, they're not going to change the rules and how they see things for us. It's their country, it's their culture, and if we want to live there, we got to respect it. And South Africans don't seem to get that. Now, I would completely understand if Tyla was in South Africa and there was Black Americans disregarding her race in South Africa, where that is legally recognized by the South African people and the South African government. But as far as I know, Tyla is not in South Africa. She is in the United States. That is not recognized in the United States, nor is it recognized by the people. There is no culture, no history. There is no nothing built around color. That does not exist in America. That does not exist. So you cannot get mad at us when we are on our own soil, exercising our own culture. Once again, if we were in South Africa, I would get it. I would understand why South Africans are upset. But we are not in South Africa. We are in America. Tyla is in America. She deals with an American audience. She's hanging around American people. We are not deleting her culture. She herself has deleted her own culture, because she made the choice to go to a country where that culture, that people group, does not exist, nor is it recognized. The only place where that is recognized is South Africa. Every country has their own way of how they identify people. If you go to Brazil, Tyla might be seen as one of three things. She might be seen as an African woman. She might be seen as pardo, which is brown, or who knows, she might be seen as black. Once again, in Brazil, color doesn't exist either. If she goes to Namibia, they might have a different term for who she is. Or if she goes to Angola, they're going to label her mestizo. Like, what do you want? Like, if you really don't want your identity to be deleted, don't live in a foreign country. It's no different from a Chinese person. When a Chinese person migrates to the United States, they're ultimately deleting their culture, because Americans may not fully recognize who they are. They just see them as an Asian. Or let me reiterate, a Japanese person or a Korean. People are just going to misinterpret them as Asian or just Chinese. That's just how it is. It's in any country. What you had in your home does not exist in another man's home. I'm sorry. And this is what South Africans keep forgetting. Now, once again, I want to repeat this very slowly, because I had a back and forth with South African. If this were an issue in South Africa, where Black Americans were disregarding the colored race, then I would understand why South Africans are upset. But as far as I know, I have not seen, met, or heard of any Black Americans disregarding colored identity who lives in South Africa. So a Black American who lives in South Africa, I have not seen any of them disregard colored identity. The only place where this is happening is America, on our soil, where this South African woman, Tyla, has migrated to. She has came to America, so her race is disregarded. It does not exist. It's not recognized. She wants to be recognized as a colored woman. Ma'am, go to South Africa. There's hundreds of years of history that made colored a thing. Hundreds of years of history that made that possible, and that's where you have to go. You are a reflection of South Africa. That word is a reflection of South Africa, of the history, of the struggle, of what you guys have went through. That term is only a thing in South Africa. That does not exist in America. There is no history behind it. There is no term behind it. There is no culture behind it. It is not recognized by the people. I'm sorry. You gotta go, Tyla. If you can't deal with a different culture, then you have to go.